Alright, today's video just wanted to cover something real quick. Gone are the days where you're gonna be forced to purchase these Fanduel or Draftkings lineup optimizers and pay where it's like $30 a month, $60 a month, $100 a month. I mean, I saw one recently that's like you need to pay us like $400 a year to use our NASCAR optimizer, which that's just ridiculous. That's not needed in today's world. And in this video, I'm going to basically show how I made my own lineup generator. It works. I tested this last weekend. I made this a little bit more advanced for this weekend's race at New Hampshire. Just based on I can now create Fanduel lineup import files. So basically, I have two Python scripts. One will generate any number of lineups that I want. So from one lineup to 150 lineups for those multi-entry lineups. And it will take that data, put it into an Excel file, and then this other Python script that I have will then take the generated lineups and then take the information that FanDuel needs to create their import sheet, and it just does that all for you. Like RotoWire has that capability where it will take your lineups that it generated and put it into a FanDuel Excel file for you to just upload and not have to go one by one and all that fun stuff. So I created that on my own as well, and in this video we're gonna show that off. As you can see here, it works. I've created my lineups for this New Hampshire race based on the data that I was able to collect. My Python script believes these are the best choices out of picking 150 different lineups. You'll see some duplicate drivers because I basically programmed it to basically say that it's okay to, like, for example, keep Chase Elliott in a few of the lineups if he is the best value for this weekend. It takes the lineup position. So if a driver starts in 30th, it knows that if they finish first, that they're going to gain a lot of points based on the amount of laps that race has as well. Like it takes all these different factors. It takes the projections into play that FanDuel has. It takes into place their values technically of like what their cost is per their projection, and then of course where they're starting. It calculates that out. So that's why it generates all this different capabilities. I did a lot of few test runs. There was a lot of different hiccups that it came up with. Like for example, for some reason it kept saying like the best the best lineup would have been like Ty Gibbs for all five choices, which obviously you can't do. So I had those hiccups that I had to iron out. It knows what the cap is for the salary. It knows that it doesn't need to hit like I think it's 50,000, right? It doesn't need to reach 50,000 to be a perfect lineup. It's anywhere. It basically needs to take into account what the lowest value driver is and what the highest value driver is, and then try to figure out of that range and out of what their projected value is, what's the most value I can get basically. Anyways, I'm babbling. Anyways, so that's what this is. And it doesn't create the same lineup twice because as you notice that I mean entries, a lot of them say one, which is that's what I want. I didn't want to like have like for example this same lineup listed all 150 times because that's considered the best because that is not how this works because it odds are two of those drivers in that lineup wreck out and then you're screwed. So um, but that's basically how it is. And this weekend, I'm going to record how this lineup does, and I gotta try to get $7.50 at least back for this to be successful. Obviously, that's what I want. At least make back my money. But of course, the real value, if this is fine tuned correctly, is gain like making $8, for example, or more. With racing, as we all know, it's a crapshoot. This isn't pure rocket science because anything can happen, like we saw last weekend at Iowa, where a lot of my lineups were actually in the top 10, and then unfortunately a few circumstances happened that took me out of that. So we'll see how this weekend goes. But anyways, to kind of go over more in how this looks, I have here, I didn't, oh wow, I'm dumb. I didn't label, uh, that's my folder. Didn't want that. Hold on. Sorry. No, no. I don't want that one. There we go. So here's the Python script. Jeez. Next time, remind myself to label my scenes here. Here is the main PyScript that generates the lineups. And as you can see, finishing points is added in there so it knows that first place gets 43 points in Fanduel. Again, this is specifically made for Fanduel. I haven't made one for Draftkings. I'm going to, um, but we'll figure that out later. And it goes over all the different types of data, blah, blah, blah. And of course, where I want it to save the files. I'm going to basically turn this into a script where it could run on anyone's computer. You just have to provide it certain data files in Excel to actually allow it to generate. It can't just strictly use um, the same file that I have because, as you know, every week that data changes, so you have to swap out that data. So I have to figure that one out. I'm still learning all this stuff, but anyways. And then of course here is the Fanduel generator where it creates the Fanduel Excel file to import into their system to again create your lineups. It's very simple. And here is what it looks like when you run it. So give me a second here. And so this is what it looks like. You'll enter how many lineups you want, and then of course you have to enter how many laps there's in the race. It will then generate the lineups, and then after that, you'll then run the Fanduel, and that's basically how that looks there, and that creates the Fanduel lineup, which will then pop this in here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done so far. It's been very successful, um, and I've been very proud of this. Um, More to come on this, and again, I'm going to make one for the NBA, I'm going to make one for the NFL, for Major League Baseball, um, basically for the main daily fantasy sports that are played. And if this is fine-tuned and works correctly, I'm going to basically give this out for free for those that don't know the how-to and provide all the instructions on how to gather the data that's needed in order to generate these files for you for each specific sport. Because I just think it's ridiculous that you know these sites have you uh, pay hundreds of dollars uh, to do this. So um, this was my solution, and again, I haven't had any problems with it as I fine-tuned it. I'm doing NASCAR now because the NBA is over with, the NFL is soon to start, and Major League Baseball, I don't know enough about it. So I'm trying to dig into what's the most important things to look at when generating your lineups. Because if you don't know what to look for and what's the best decisions per your lineup, that will totally skew the data, and it'll just basically give you the worst choices possible. And then, of course, obviously, injuries are another thing too that I gotta put into there because, NFL, NBA, MLB, players can get injured. Drivers aren't, that doesn't happen as often with drivers. Um, so that's why I don't have that value in there. When Eric Jones was out recently, I would have definitely had to figure that one out. But anyways, so if you have any questions, comments, or if you're interested in this, please subscribe to my channel, and then leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Um, More to come on this, and again, I'm gonna have the NFL coming up, and the NBA as well, and I'm gonna do Major League Baseball kind of towards the end. As again, I don't watch baseball often, so that's a little bit harder for me. But just know that is something that's going to come, and then this will be posted on my GitHub so that you can just download it and then do whatever. So, but yeah, so that is my my fantasy lineup optimizer, and hopefully what you see makes sense. And then yeah, again, I'm babbling. I keep doing that. Anyways, take care. Have a good one.